I don't know. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Dalton at Daltony95. Doing something a little bit different here. This is my first StreamYard stream, whatever. And we're going to be doing a Beast Wars tier list. You can probably see from the description, I've laid it all out. I've got a couple, a host and a former co-host or whatever. I mean, it's up in the air for Stasis Lock. So we're going to go over all the characters in Beast Wars, at least for the show. We're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to include the Transmetal and Transmetal 2 forms of the characters as different versions of them. Instead of just saying, here's the character as he is through the entire show, this is what I think. So it'll be varying throughout the show, throughout those versions of the characters. So why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I am Joe. You can reach me through my secretary, Daltonians TFs. He will direct you to the Stasis Log podcast.
Hey, I won't take that kind of talk here.
You just did.
I have the power.
Oh man, that's funny.
Go on, I dare you.
What's up, everyone? I'm Tyler G, former co-host of Stasis Lock, currently under the name Depressicon. You can find me on Twitch whenever I decide to stream. It's been like 3 weeks since, so I don't know. You can catch me elusively doing stuff on the internet.
All right, just a second here.
And I've got my little guy in the background.
All right, give me just a second. Sorry.
How dare you?
Two more persons. Sorry, this is my first time hosting one of these, so give me just a second.
So this is good timing. I literally just finished watching Beast Wars again. Like literally within the last hour. So.
Wow.
Yep, I'm on Beast Machines episode 1. So.
Man, don't do that. Beast Machines was rad.
Huh? You liked it?
Yeah, I mean for the story. Listen, the designs are trash. I'm never going to co-sign the designs. But yeah, the story was fantastic. And I mean the show the designs aren't bad. The toys were just trash.
I mean,
Marcus disagrees. He likes the designs.
Yeah, and I'm just in it for more time with my favorite characters. So
that's it, man. Character growth is important.
Well, for my computer to freeze up.
Beautiful host to fix these technical issues. I was looking at so I have the Generation Toy Red Bull, which is their side swipe, and I'm very curious why Generation Toy has never done a black repaint for the G2 side swipe.
That would have been awesome.
A black bull.
Give it some big guns and stuff.
Yeah, man.
That'd be cool.
Call it Bone Crusher.
Brother Kyle says, pretty sure Marcus just said "Go Birds."
He might have. It sounds a lot like G1 is trash. So, you know, I hear a little bit of both.
Oh, yeah. See, I just heard him agree with you. Yeah.
That's his metal voice.
All right, so I guess since still waiting, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I've already got the tier list brought up and everything, so we can get right into it.
Cool.
Got our infinite.
You were giving me a hard time the other night for my computer not working.
Hey, I preface the fact that my computer doesn't run very well. All right, so we've got our tier list here, labeled S through F. S being the absolute best of the best. There is no argument. I already got one character that's going to go right in there. It's Dinobot. Are we all in agreement here?
Nope.
I also disagree. Not that, listen, I think Dinobot is an S tier character, but I don't think he's the best of the best.
Well, I mean, there's probably going to be a couple more that we fit into S tier. Like, honestly, think Dinobot is S tier due to his arc.
Let's discuss this. I think his arc is only loved because he had that beloved sacrifice at the end. Other than that, he's the reverse Starscream of Beast Wars. He betrayed Megatron, only he went to the Maximals. And, like, he never served the Maximal cause, per se. He was just after Megatron the whole time.
He's literally he's the same as Armada Starscream. I mean...
And that's not a bad thing.
No, it's unoriginal. It's a very commonly written character arc.
Yeah. And I think because of that, like, because it's that specific character arc, he gets all the praise, but, like, and I'm not saying he's not an S tier character, like I said before. I'm just saying that I think he's kind of overhyped in the sense because he did that sacrifice. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, without that, if he lived, he's just a generic character.
Well, I mean, just throughout
and Marcus agrees in the background.
I'm just saying, throughout the course of the show, we've seen this duality within him.
True.
Oh yeah, he's definitely well written.
Mm-hmm.
And the way his final episode was written really, really solidifies everything. But I don't know. It's just like the internal struggle that you see him going through. Yeah, it's a great character. It's just nothing original. So,
to be fair, I think it was original at the time. Like, especially for, like, kids' cartoons. But, I mean, hindsight is 2020, and we all know what 2020 was for everyone.
Yeah. I feel like there was a character in Gargoyles that reminded me of Dinobot.
It's been so long since I've watched that show.
I don't remember. I mean, a lot of them.
All right, hang on, we're still having some difficulties with one of our guests. So, I mean, they're in the backstage. I'm just waiting for them to connect everything. But I personally, I'm taking your guys' opinions into considerations, but at the end of the day, this is just, this is my opinion, so I'm still going to put him up as S tier.
Oh, we're not saying don't put him as S tier. It's just he's not
the only S tier.
He's not the top of the S. I would reserve that for another character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get right to placing him here in just a second as soon as they get in here. Deluxe says Beast Wars sucks. How about no? G1 sucks.
Ooh, you're hitting them right in the nostalgia.
But then again, saying that at the same time, I'm also saying Beast Wars sucks because Beast Wars is still part of G1. A certain six-sided or six-formed Tron can disagree all he wants as far as toy lines go, but as far as story and universe, no. Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay, we'll continue and.
Well, so I just read what Brother Kyle said about Macbeth having a redemption arc and a code of honor. it's pretty well known at this point that Dinobot was like not ripped off, but very heavily inspired by Macbeth, to the point of that to be or not to be type stuff, right? So,
was that Macbeth or was that Hamlet?
I don't know. I didn't read either in high school. I skipped and
just Shakespeare in general, to be honest.
I always thought it was Hamlet.
Very, very Shakespearean, yeah. Beast Wars only got good when they threw in characters. Hashtag facts. Well, Deluxe Channel only got good when I did is around 30 minutes. So suck on that.
He has a channel? I didn't know that.
All right.
What's this?
All right, so Optimis Primal.
I didn't know Dalton had a channel either, so.
Okay.
So I would say Optimus is an S tier character only because he is not a typical leader like Prime. He had to become a leader given the situation.
Okay, yeah, let's be specific here. Season 1 Primal.
I'd give him,
Season 1 Primal.
I'd give him an S. If only for Guerrilla Warfare, because that's my favorite episode, and he is a badass.
Well, that and the just the fact that he's taking charge of this ragtag group of explorers now have to become soldiers, and just that struggle with trying to lead this group, even though he's not a born leader.
And he's very compassionate with his crew. He's very much he leads by. He's not like a military drill sergeant, right? He's very compassionate.
He leads by example,
understanding. And he says, I think it's like the first few episodes. Like I wouldn't ask.
Yeah, first episode.
Something I wouldn't do myself, right? Yeah.
He really sets that tone. That's the first episode. He's like, Rattrap, go do this. Rattrap's like, no, so Primal has to. Primal gets shot down. And Primal's like, come on, Rattrap. He's like, I wouldn't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do myself, but I was able to give you better cover fire than you were able to give me.
Right.
So.
Where'd you go?
Hello, Ellen.
So I would say that he is an S tier commander for sure. But
I still don't know what an S is.
I think it's just like super. S is like
it's above A. Like it's.
Yeah.
If you want to put percentage wise, S is like 98 to 100%.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do percentages then?
Because that's not how the website.
That's not how tier lists work.
Because that whole ranking is based off of a ranking from Japan, and believe it or not, their grading system over there is exactly like that. They don't believe in percentages.
Good. They're already winning my vote.
All right,
Japan
so you probably heard some of this, Alan, or whatever you want us to call you, Jeremiah, whatever. Dinobot and Primal, Season 1 Primal, A or S tier. Like,
yeah.
So let's go ahead and go Rhinox. Personally, I kind of want to put him at an A tier.
Are we talking about Rhinox as a whole or season wise?
It's hard to differentiate because he never changes forms.
Yeah.
In Beast Wars, at least.
Well, yeah, we're just doing seasons 1 through 3 of Beast Wars.
Okay, so we're just sticking strict to Beast Wars. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say he's a B tier. And I love Rhinox, but like, what does he really do? He's that gentle giant character.
I mean, he brings Primal back.
I like to compare him to like a stay-at-home dad, where he usually stays at the base, but then when someone when someone knocks down the door, he knocks back.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and put him in B tier for now. And if we have any other, thoughts on him later, we'll adjust it at the very end. Cheetor, I mean, you guys know how I feel about Cheetor. He's my boy. I don't think he belongs. Season 1 Cheetor, I don't think belongs here.
No, I think I think honestly he's a C, in my opinion.
That whole character without looking at the season. I look at Cheetor. Just looking at him season 1, he is definitely C tier.
Yeah, impulsive, young, doesn't know what he's doing. Much like myself.
He is definitely
might even be a D tier because they could have avoided a lot of situations that they got into. Well, think about it. Think about it. He got caught by Tarantulas in one of the first episodes. He risked the Energon vein that could have blown up both bases.
But the thing is that he is learning from it. That's the thing about it, though.
Sure, but his impulsiveness resulted in unneeded conflict multiple times. And we're talking like the growth doesn't happen until season 2, really. Because he's still that, as he puts it, dippy cub. And I think D is for dippy. So I think he's a D tier character.
Let's keep him in C tier for now.
All right. What do you think, Joe?
Oh yeah, there's a whole.
Joe's currently stuffing his face with empanadas.
It's so bright.
Is he still on the screen? Or?
Oh, he's not.
Oh,
he gone. He's backstage.
There he is. Hang on.
Way to pay attention, Dalton.
Wow.
There he is.
Dang, being called out.
So yeah,
what happened?
Cheetor is just kind of, I don't know. He's just meant to be that kid character, and again another generic.
So
another generic one, and kind of the kid relation, comic relief kind of thing.
I put it like this. Bumblebee is a D list or is a D tier character because he's the exact same thing, right? And I think Cheetor just is there to fill that role.
Yep, and that doesn't mean it's not a good character. It's just it's not as complex. It's not as appealing. It's not as well written.
Not in the first season anyway.
Yep.
And I think let's get this out of the way. I think all these characters were written pretty damn well. With the exception of maybe...
Yeah, I don't think...
I think with the exception of the cast that like only shows up for a certain episode here or there, all these characters that were, in the show every episode or almost every episode were written very, very well. But
Scorponok was pretty dull.
It's true. I mean, we'll get there.
Okay, yeah.
But I say Cheetor is a D tier. Or even like, I don't know if you can do it in the middle here, but maybe like a C minus.
Yeah, if we have any other C tier characters, he'll probably be closer to the bottom, like near the end, like I've got with Primal and Dinobot here.
G1 Hexatron says all F tier. I believe you're thinking about G1, my friend. None of those characters are any good. I mean, I'll give Bumblebee.
He definitely is.
That's because I got a thing for Volkswagen. Get that truck father shit out of here, though.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Nobody wants them here.
Rattrap.
My Princess Leia, Marcus?
I would say Rattrap.
Season 1 Rattrap in A tier.
Yeah, I think that's
A tier.
No, he's definitely an A.
Yeah, he is. If bare minimum, he's a B plus and a A minus. So I put him in A.
I think A as well.
Because
I'd say high A plus.
He's one of the most consistent characters
throughout the first season.
Oh yeah. And not to mention he brings the sass. We cannot ignore the sass.
And not only does he bring the sass, but he brings it in a very it's funny, but it's also like a serious tone too. You know what I mean? Like he's not your Marvel slapstick comedy for the sake of having a laugh. Like it's very fluid and genuine comedy.
You can actually slightly put it in the category of he started doing that. I'm gonna do my job and rip on you type of humor. that grew very popular in the 2000s, he was starting to do it first.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
Cheers
God,
to Scott McNeil for
Rattrap.
that.
Here we go.
Yeah. And for the smallest one of the bunch, he ain't scared of nobody.
Yeah, he's the #1 spy guy.
Yeah. Master marksman and
Okay.
demolitions expert.
Tigertron. I want to put him in D tier because he's a dick. But just with his character and his compassion towards, prehistoric Earth, I'd probably put him in B tier, like above Rhinox.
I was just gonna say he definitely goes above Cheetor because he's the one who smacks Cheetor across the back of the head, telling him to get his shit straight.
See, and I would agree with you, but in my opinion, Cheetor is D tier, so I think Tigertron should go into C tier. Because you have to consider all the blunders that he's had. He got Snowstalker killed with his hubris. Excuse me. I know you like Tigertron, but you need to back that up. Yeah, he got Snowstalker killed. He tried to walk away from the Maximals because he didn't want to fight because he felt guilty for his own mistake. You know what I mean? And
but see, that's why Tigertron I like so much. He's the arguably the goodest of them all, even though goodest isn't the word. Like he's probably the most pure-hearted of all the Maximals, yet he makes some of the biggest mistakes out of all of them.
He is, but he's also naive, and that's why I would put him at a C, because as an older character, like he's like a mentor to Cheetor in some regard, right? Like an older brother, right? As a mentor or as an older character, he's very naive to the point where he makes those mistakes. Like he has that hubris that gets Snowstalker killed. He decides to walk away from the Maximals, and Dinobot of all people has to remind him why he has to fight for the things that he believes in, why peace is not an option. So, and I love
that's the depth that a lot of the others don't really get, which is kind of neat.
Brother Kyle said he said not naive, idealistic, and maybe that's the correct term that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But one way or the other, he's I think he's a C. But round table, everyone. What do you? I think he's a C. What about you, Alan Blutmond?
Tigertron?
Yeah.
B.
Right, Joe?
Yeah.
I'd probably make him an A just because of that. There's just a lot of complexity for me, so I like it.
And what about you?
Yeah, I'm probably going to keep him at a low B, like just under Rhinox.
Yeah.
Like I said, we could make final adjustments near the end.
True.
All right, so last of the season 1 Maximals, we've got Airazor. I want to put her an A above Rattrap.
Curious as to why.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe somewhere in the A category. Just, it's nice to have a female Maximal, and her personality is just great. Like,
I don't disagree, but what has she done?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
the
mean?
thing. I mean,
So,
if she had more time, if she had stuck around for season 2 and season 3, yeah, she would have had a lot of potential. But I think it's just she didn't do enough.
She is the equivalent of like, yeah, she's cool, but what does she do?
Yeah,
and it's for me, it's a lot of like, I don't buy the whole she's a female Maximal, so we should give her a higher rank. Like I agree that she is a great character in her own right, but as far as what she did in the show, it was very minimal. She didn't do too much.
Thinking about it now,
she popped up, got an alternate form, took one good look at the ship, and went, nah, I'm out of here. I'm going to stay out there in the wild. Call me if you need me. Which would be every 3rd episode, so that way you can remind yourselves I'm still relevant, but we can save on animation.
Brother
so
Kyle
let's go
says
put
she
her in
fucked
D
up
tier because
Megatron
she
in
didn't
her
really do
debut, and
much.
I'd like to remind you that Tigertron also fucked up Megatron in his debut, and he's at a solid C. I think Airazor suffers a little bit from what I think. Excuse me. What I think Dinobot suffers from. I disagree with him being an S tier character. I think because she died in the show, people rank her a little bit higher because she was sacrificed. And for some reason, when someone died, it's almost like how you don't want to speak ill of the dead. Because she was sacrificed, she deserves better than what she got. And I understand that way of thinking, but I disagree with it because the sum of all of her actions in the show did not amount to anything. Whereas I would say, hang on one second, he is so excited. Sorry about that. The sum of all of her actions really didn't amount to anything in the first season anyway. Whereas Dinobot, like I would put Dinobot as an A, not an S, but an A, because yes, he did make the heroic sacrifice, but he had so much character depth on screen. He did so much to further the plot, and he was such an integral character to the main show, or to the first season especially, but to the entire show as a whole.
Him switching sides is such a crucial point of his character that pretty much every single toy of the actual Dinobot version. Let me start over. his face turn is such a crucial point of his character that every single toy of him that has been released since then has featured some kind of Predacon to Maximal event. I'm going to say in some form or fashion, from a changing icon to a feature being in one of the cards. We know the eventual re-release of Dinobot in a Maximal packaging in the current Kingdom line is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I think that is an integral part of his character. But as far as Airazor is concerned, I would put her.
I'm putting her at D tier just because, if thinking about it more, she didn't do anything. She showed up,
I
beat
do
the
like
shit out of Pterosaur and Waspinator, and that was pretty much it. She hung out with Tigertron for the rest of the time afterwards.
I do like that you brought up, though, how in toy representations going forward, he had Maximal and Predacon. And Black Arachnia, specifically the Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia, had that same feature. And I'm curious, I don't know. I don't actually know. I didn't check with the Kingdom Black Arachnia if she had that feature or not.
No. That's also strictly because you got to remember that all the way up to her becoming a Transmetal 2, she was still technically a Predacon until she became Transmetal 2.
Yeah,
and that's when she finally made the full convert. So,
but then if we want to go with that logic, then Dinobot was always a Predacon. He just his allegiance was the Maximals. He was still a Predacon. He even says, "I'm a Predacon, but I'm with the Maximals." So
the thing with Black Arachnia is her issue was she had that shell programming to where even if she wanted to,
exactly, it's part of their programming. It's part of who they are, but they can still switch their allegiance.
No, this was from Tarantulas experiment.
No, yeah, exactly. It was. And once they got rid of that, then she was able to be the Maximal she was always supposed to be. Dinobot was always supposed to be a Predacon. He always was a Predacon. But he chose, because he understood the greater truth, the honor of the situation, he chose to be the Maximal. He understood what was really going on.
He came around.
He chose to side with the Maximals.
He chose to side with the Maximals because he wanted to get back at Megatron. It had nothing to do with the greater good.
Yep, exactly.
Lesser revenge plot.
It had to do with his own honor.
But to that point that you said, Joe, I think Black Arachnia is the only Black Arachnia, and Inferno would have one as well, because all of the Stasis pods were Protoform Maximals, and they had to be turned. So it would only be Inferno, Quick Strike. Well, no, I guess Quick Strike wouldn't have one.
No, he didn't.
He did it of his own volition.
Arachnia, yeah. But Dinobot was a Predacon to begin with, and he was a Predacon through and through. And like we said before, he was a Predacon up until he died. even though he allied with the Maximals, and his character depth, and like I'm kind of seeing a little more why maybe an S tier is more appropriate, because the character depth of him battling with that both sides is kind of like I've never been to war, and hopefully I never have to, but it shows that the inner conflict on what's right and what's wrong, it really came out in his character and the writing. So,
well, you look at the episode, I think it's the one right before he dies when he leaves the Maximals.
Because it's like one or two before that, yeah. Then him grappling with that in Code of
Megatron's
Hero.
gonna win. I gotta switch back to Megatron's side, and then he realizes, well, you know what? No, it doesn't matter. I have my honor. I'm going with the Maximals because they've become my friends. Because in a way, he believes in what they're fighting for. And then Megatron's like, okay, die with the Maximals. So.
Well, and then in that follow-up in Code of Hero, like, that betrayal affected him so much to where he was about to commit seppuku.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyway, getting back to other characters, let's go ahead and start with Predacons. Megatron, Season 1, I'm in between A and S tier, just because...
That's an S for me, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that quintessential cartoon villain. He's just over the top. He's Shakespearean. He's
if you give him an A, then I'll bust out the rubber ducky and force you to make it a S.
The rubber ducky's only from season 2, but I agree with you. He's an S tier for sure.
S tier above Dinobot.
To kind of go into it too, I think the reason he's an S tier is because there was so much little nuance to his character, especially in the first season. Behind every decision he made, there was so much calculation. Like you could tell that he was that rogue, evil leader that just kind of like he abandoned his own Predacon overlords, for lack of a better term. He defied his own ruling and went off on his own because he had bigger and better ambitions, and he came very close a lot of times to being able to see those plans come to fruition.
I think that's where you can actually see the slight when you go back and watch the whole season with the ending in mind, you can slightly see that he already knew about the golden discs, but they didn't know what time period they were until he started doing the tests.
Right.
Because that's but even before then, he started picking up kind of the hints of like, I don't know for sure, but I wonder. And that's when you see him start pulling off the more not elemental, but the more environmental tests. Not just including the blowing up the mountain, but that was like the final straw in the head of like, aha, I was right.
Yeah, I would say he's very chaotic with a strong intuition, because he moves very much like a chaotic evil, but he's got a very strong intellectual intuition as to the moves that he makes to forward his own plot.
Yeah, he's always got his own agenda going on.
If the man, let's put like this: if the robot was a D&D character, every time he would roll for wisdom check, he would always roll a 19.
Yeah, I agree.
I know nothing about D&D, so that went right over my head.
Basically, if in D&D, if anything requires him to use his brain, he would instantly pass, and almost without even adding any modifiers or any bonuses or either.
I would say his only flaw is his hubris, his ego. Sometimes gets in the way of him. He's very much he likes his long monologues, and he likes really rubbing it in vocally before finishing off whoever he's, you know what I mean. And sometimes that gets in his way of
you can actually see that. You can actually see that he actually acknowledges that at one point too, where he calls for Black Arachnia, and she comes around and goes, "You bellowed?" "Oh yes, I did."
Yeah.
Or the whole thing. Why do you always talk to yourself? I merely enjoy intelligent conversations.
Joe's in the backstage again.
Oh my God, Joe, what are you doing?
Or he may have disconnected. Okay.
Oh, now he's just gone.
I'm putting him back.
Message the private chat. I'm backstage. Well, not anymore. You're not.
Yeah.
Let me know when he comes back.
All right.
All right. So let's go ahead and go with Tarantulas season 1.
You give my intelligence Unicron bastard a S.
I would say season 1, he was an A character.
Dang it, I keep on forgetting we're just doing season 1. Okay, yeah, he's an A.
So, and I think that's something we need to kind of stick to, because with Rhinox and with Rhinox, Tigertron, and with Dinobot, we've kind of did the whole show. But with everyone else, we're just doing season 1 because it's their season 1 forms. I think going forward, we should just stick with season 1 for now until we get to the Transmetals. Then we can go with season 2 and adjust each character's arc, or based on their arc
accordingly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But as far as Tarantulas from season 1, I agree. I think that he is an A, solely because he can match wits with Megatron, but he is not Megatron.
No.
I would love to see, like, Sins of the Wreckers is a good example. I would love to see if Tarantulas was in charge and the type of evil that he could get up to and cause, but he is not the leader that Megatron is. So that's why I would put him at an A.
Yeah, I mean, and throughout the first season, he's creepy as hell, too. Like that whole
that's
third episode where he interrupts Cheetor and is actually threatening to just drink his mech fluid.
See, this is where I kind of have a weakness for. I always loved Tarantulas, even as a kid, because I view him as the super crazy, eccentric mad scientist. I mean, that's essentially what he is at the end of the day, and I love those types of characters because they are always unpredictable, because they can go from 1 minute just being true on science. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to take you apart and study you, and then I'm going to drink your fluids afterwards.
Well, yeah, essentially like the comics version of Shockwave, if we're going to compare to G1 characters.
I would say he is a combination of Shockwave and Starscream, because he is very calculated, he is very smart, but just like Starscream, his ego and his hubris, again, gets in the way of some of the stuff that he'd like to pull off. He'll never, ever be able to overthrow Megatron, as proved.
I just realized what he is. He's the Transformers equivalent of a mad scientist Deadpool.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I mean, with the levels of random and craziness. If you want to compare the levels of random and craziness,
I think he's more diabolical. Like he is crazy, but he's like calculatedly crazy, like Shockwave is. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he also has his own monologues and his own like personality quirks that sometimes get in his own way.
Well, him just like Megatron. Tarantulas just like Megatron. From the very beginning, they had an agenda. They weren't just there for along the ride. They were there to get something done.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially Tarantulas. Like, we'll get to that later. Pterosaur, I'm going to put him high A.
I'm going to go with a C.
C?
Yep.
He had one good episode, and that was it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. High C, low B.
Yeah, it's at like you're a point away from a B- type of high C,
Yeah.
So I put Pterosaur on the same side, or on the same scale as Cheetor, which is
The only downside is that Oh, sorry. Keep on going.
I would like. He doesn't really do much. He's just like a henchman. I think Waspinator would be higher than him for sure, but that's only because Waspinator brings a certain charm to the show that Pterosaur didn't have. Yes, he did, or he was able to destroy Megatron once.
But that's after taking worlds.
True, but it's proved time and time again that he is an inferior leader. He He is the generic Starscream. He's like the great value Starscream.
He is the changey bot.
Yeah, he is the Rock Lords of Beast Wars.
Oof.
Like,
Oof.
and I love Pterosaur. I think he's an integral part to the story only because he is the perfect face that gets punched every episode that he needs to be punched. You know what I mean? Like he's got this ego and personality that you just want to just beat into the ground, and he gets
which
beat
episode
into the ground.
was that? Where Primal starts flying upwards and he just punches Pterosaur right in the face.
Shoot, I don't
know
know.
What I'm talking about, like he punches him and you just see his head reeling back.
Is that the one with what is it called? Power Surge? Is that Power Surge?
It could even be Possession, which we'll get to that specifically soon. I'm pretty sure you guys can already see down in the list of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're actually coming close on.
Yeah, we've only got a few more season 1 characters left. So speaking of which, Scorponok, I want to give him a good grade because of Brett, but I'm gonna have to give him a low B just because after a certain episode, he just becomes another goon.
Well, I think he belongs in the C category as well because him and Pterosaur aren't so different in the fact that like they don't really do anything; they're just kind of fodder.
Yeah, I'm putting them below
you never
Pterosaur,
really,
to be honest.
Pterosaur gets fleshed out more, but you never really see Scorponok get fleshed out at all. The only saving grace for Pterosaur that keeps him from a D is that he's consistent through the show. Like, and there is that fan theory that like after Rhinox drops all that stuff on him and crushes his head, that he gets a little dumber. Like there's pre-concussion and post-concussion Scorponok, and if that was done intentionally,
so many through the show.
Yeah, that was a cool bit of writing if that was the case. But I would give him a C.
Yeah, because I think you can kind of you can tell after a certain point they were going to basically make him a more straight arrow wheeljack type of character, but they already had a tinkerer and a mad scientist with tarantulas, and they don't want two of those on the same team, and that's when they just kind of like made a left turn and went, oh, never mind, he's just a boob.
Well, he's very reminiscent of Soundwave, but if Soundwave was dumb and wore really tight, skinny clothing, because he's very loyal to Megatron. He's got the Cyber Bee and the
visor thing.
Yeah, like he's Joe said he's back. He's backstage. And for that, and the consistency, I would add Scorponok to like I said, I would keep him at a C. C stands for consistency, if you didn't know.
For some
consistently meh.
There he is.
There we go.
Yep.
Boy, you need to sell half your collection and get a half decent
Waspinator.
Waspinator is definitely an S. I would put him
are we in agreement on that?
Him at the top.
I think he's a strong A. I don't know if he's an S class character. So, and that's personal to me. I think if you're an S tier character, you're either written exceptionally well or you were inspire future generations. Like Primal's the standard for what a good character, good leader should be. And I mean, the argument could be made like Prime was a great leader, but like Primal had his back against the wall and he had to make it work, and he did it. And his depth only further improves, when you go into Beast Machines in the story. And I know that's kind of a polarizing subject as well, but like Primal. See,
I'd say Megatron's the better character than Primal. He is. I mean, that's not against Primal. That's just how good Megatron is. I mean, he is
agree with you.
Brilliantly written, brilliantly portrayed. I mean, it's just he's a masterpiece character. I mean, he is.
There we go.
Great.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think
even though Waspinator didn't do a lot as far as forwarding the plot in the show, he was
he's the lifeblood of the show. I mean, you ask people a lot of times what they think of Beast Wars, they'll say yes, as in Megatron. They'll say, oh, Dinobot, or they'll say Waspinator. I mean,
or we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's one of the icons of the show. So,
he was one of the first few. You know, Dinobot being the absolute first character to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, and then Waspinator wasn't too far after that, if I remember correctly.
And I think the reason that his character was so well received is because there's a certain sense of relatability to his character where every episode he just gets shit on. You know what I mean? And people can relate to that because
nothing's going on. He's not doing anything, and all of a sudden he just gets blown up out of nowhere.
He's minding his own business. He's got ambitions, but he's the equivalent of having a good day, but then your car won't start.
I see him as the perfect what I see is in Waspinator is the very loyal, get stuff done retail worker, where you tell him to get stuff done, he'll get it done. But he's probably gonna get shit on and exploded by the end of the day. But he's gonna keep trucking at it. He's gonna be a good soldier.
If Dalton was a Predacon,
all I can imagine now is Megatron with the hair with the
Dalton would be Waspinator.
Yeah, if Dalton was a Predacon, he'd be Waspinator for sure.
Jesus, why you the Dalton?
I mean, we just say it because it's true. I mean.
All right, Black Arachnia. I kind of want to put her in S tier.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
For season 1. Remember,
right?
For season 1.
Well, no, this is pre-Transmetal too. So, I mean, in this form, she progresses so much.
Joe, you weren't here when we were talking about it, Joe. We were thinking just doing season 1 right now, and then after we do the season 2, we'll adjust for season 2.
Yeah. Okay. So for season,
season 1, she's down. She's a D in season 1. Well, no, she had 1 or 2. I'd say C, because she had 1 or 2 episodes where she did stuff, but a lot of times she just didn't do anything. So
I would say
she did more than Airazor though.
B. Definitely, I think she's high C or low B. Yeah, only because that it was a 2-part, right? Not a 3-part. The trailer. The island.
Yep.
That was some of the best cartoon television I think I've ever watched.
Same with the one when the end of season 1 when Primal dies. That was pretty great. What she was doing in there with the Maximals and everything.
The floating island. Yeah, that's right. Smart Bill 69-2000. Yeah, that's the one. The trigger.
I'd say Pterosaur should be a B as well, though. I mean, he's definitely above Scorponok. That's just me, though.
Yeah, he's a high C.
I got him above Scorponok on the C tier list.
Okay.
Yeah, because flipping Pterosaur does have one. Let's put it like this: the first episode that I ever watched of Beast Wars is the episode where Pterosaur powers up. And what's the one thing I remember about Scorponok? He had a B missile. That's it.
Yep.
Well, I think
Airazor is always looking to overthrow Megatron. He's that Starscream character.
He's Dollar Tree Starscream.
G1 Starscream was pretty Dollar Tree. Scorponok's at least a bit better, I would say.
Okay,
no. Starscream was a actual Starscream you found in Dollar Tree, but it was one of those $2 legend figures from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
there wasn't much to G1 Starscream.
So
there's a bit more to Pterosaur. Pterosaur would at least try and get people on his side. Pterosaur would at least work with the Maximals now and again to overthrow Megatron.
Yeah.
So
if I could adjust, I would say Cheetor is higher than Pterosaur. He's the high C.
Okay, there we go. Or if we're going to go by that, there.
I can agree with that.
Everyone agree with that?
Yeah, I'd put Scorponok down below Airazor though.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he didn't. He had no personality. He was just, I don't know. It was just a cool looking design, but that's just me.
I got a missile that looks like a bee.
Yeah, I think he's just on par with Airazor. Airazor didn't do much either. Mind you, she had way less runtime, but Scorponok was consistent, and with his loyalty and so on, like I don't know. I would say he's on par with Airazor.
Okay.
Which makes it so much worse for Scorponok because he had so much more time to be good. But
right.
Yeah.
Inferno, season 1. I'm probably going to put him as C tier below Tigertron because, again, he didn't do a whole lot. He was just that little loyal lunatic.
Well,
yeah.
I think. Sorry, in my opinion, he is a B. That's only because he retrieved the golden disc. He took out, I think it was 3 Maximals on his own, while Black Arachne just stood by and watched. He is a powerhouse for sure, and I mean double flamethrowers. Come on, but
he's really big too. He's
a big guy.
Like his gun is bigger than Black Arachnia.
I would put him lower than Cheetor, but I wouldn't say he's less than Pterosaur.
So yeah, I think that's good so far. All right, last season 1 character, and it's only a one-shot appearance. Starscream.
F.
I want to put him in C tier because he did a pretty damn good job taking over shit in that episode. I know your personal bias, Tyler.
Joe, I will PayPal you $10 right now. What's your rating? F?
Not worth it.
What's below F? He's a G.
I don't know. I mean,
G for G1 garbage.
I can't give him an F because he did add a certain flavor. I would say because of him, because of his immortal spark possessing Waspinator, I would say that's when Waspinator became indestructible. So he helped make Waspinator who he is.
Ooh,
so
I considered that.
Yeah, but that's already 21 episodes deep.
Huh?
That's already after 20 other episodes of Waspinator getting blown up and blown to bits.
He doesn't really get super bad blown up until season 2. And I thought Possession was episode 16, I think.
No, it was either episode 19 or 21.
Think about it like this. Every single time he gets blown up to pieces like a flippin' action figure, right? And the worst he ever gets torn apart is in season 3 where Dinobot Transmetal 2 literally cuts him to ribbons. And he just shrugs it off like it's like, just another day.
Even the beginning of season 2, he gets crushed into the little cube and he's fine. He's like kind of using his little hand thingy to move around.
Oh, the little finger. I forgot about the finger.
Yeah, so let's manage D under Airazor, right? Everyone?
Yeah.
We'll definitely get to an F pair of characters which are on here, so.
No. Starscream is an F. Where's Brother Kyle? Somewhere right now he's fuming.
Oh, well done. You're right. Possession is number 21.
Yeah. Recently, I just watched all the DC movies, and I reminded him that DC is superior to Marvel. So he had his. I'm sure he's all balled up in anger right now because of that, and now this. Starscream's an F.
All right. Season 2.
I mean, DC
Primal.
does have Batman.
And
Season
Marvel has
2
Iron
Primal.
Man.
Yep.
I think this is
Keep
where
staring
Primal
at us.
really steps into his shoes.
So higher than
Well-
Megatron S tier?
No.
No,
Higher than season 1 Megatron S tier. Or
I
is he
would
just
say
higher
that,
than
yeah. I would say higher than season 1 Megatron. Because he hasn't really fully developed his plan yet. Well, end of season 1 Megatron, he's really Megatron's really coming together, and then
Mhm.
Primal's just about to go boom, and then he goes boom, and then he kind of comes back. I don't know. I'd say, I don't know. It's a hard one.
I don't think Primal did anything of substance in the second season. I was going to go out on a limb and say that. I don't think he did anything of substance in the second season.
I mean, he became more of a confident leader.
In what capacity? Most of his on-screen stuff was backseat to Silverbolt with Transmutate or with Black Arachnia. Was backseat.
He was at the base commander / air support at the end.
Right. He didn't really do much.
So we just
I
gonna
think
go
it
with
was
high A tier then?
I wouldn't even
But
say
he did do stuff when it mattered. Like when with the Vox ship in what was it, Other Victories? He was in the heat of that. He was in the heat of things with the agenda. He was in the heat of things when Rampage showed up.
Yeah, and the major shit.
Okay. I would say A. He's a strong A.
I think
Rattrap
season
or
2 is when
Commander?
he really came into his leadership role. That's all. And he's just okay, I'm the leader. I have to delegate. So
Yeah, you could see that in the scene where he disciplined Silverbolt for running around with Black Arachnia.
yep.
Oh yeah, he definitely had more of that commander vibe to him than just a ragtag exploration captain.
Yeah.
Because it finally sinks in that hey, we're it's kind of a bigger picture now.
Yeah. Alright, so season 1 Primal right about there.
I think he's good where he is. Yeah.
Below Wasp Band-Aider, above Rattrap.
Mm-hmm.
The
Alright, so season 2 / Transmetal Cheetor. I want to say a high B, just because he has grown a little bit more here.
I'd put him at a low A.
I'd put
Just
him at
because he does more, he's less annoying.
he goes from
He has more purpose because he can fly.
He goes from being he fills out his scout role a lot better. He does have everything a little bit more lined up. If you know what I mean. Like his personality wise is more lined up now. Like he can actually think a little bit straighter rather than, yeah, I want to prove myself.
The only thing for me that puts him at a low A is that episode where he farts. He's got all that energy on. Is it season 3?
Oh yeah, that is.
No, that's the Rampage one.
Talking about. Yeah, I thought you were talking about him trying to take off and his jets all filled with water.
No.
Nope, he literally farts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now.
Not that should be really held against him, but like his preteen jealousy over Silverbolt with Black, or I guess a teenage jealousy with Black Arachnia. Like
that gets irritating.
Kudos to the kid for shooting way above his weight class, but I mean, like, it was really cringy.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So season 2, Transmetal Rattrap.
For me, he's above Transmetal
really-
Primal. I think he's high A.
Yeah.
For me.
Yep.
Higher than Waspinator?
No.
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 I think
Come on.
he's just high A. He is in that like
Yeah.
elite class for me, like as far as like character development. But what really pushes him up there for me is I think what Depth Charge was third season, right?
That's
No, he's season 2.
3.
Right.
Was it season
Depth
2?
Charge
He's
is season
season
2.
3. He's after Optimal Situation.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
yeah,
no, I was thinking Rampage, but yeah,
Rampage is season 2.
yeah.
Because I was gonna say he goes underwater to retrieve that thing for the base when they move into the Ark, but that's season 3, so we'll get there. But he destroys Ravage's ship, being the demolition expert. I mean, with the help of Primal, of course.
He takes
Yeah,
out
the Dr. Strangelove reference.
he takes out Tarantulas, he takes out Ravage, and he takes out Rampage all in one swoop. I mean,
I think
that's pretty awesome.
His beast mode, like Transmetal beast mode with the alt mode, I guess, is probably the coolest. Gorilla with a surfboard, that's a meme. Cheetor with jets, that's cool. But a little rat roadster is probably the coolest fucking beast mode alt mode I could have ever imagined. There's Transmetals that I have that didn't get into the show that don't even come close to what Rattrap has. He was my favorite as far as that alt mode. So definitely a high A. And he used it all the time. Like I think Cheetor and Rattrap probably used their alt modes the best.
Their intermediate alt modes.
Well, because it was so like Megatron only used his for like commuting. Cheetor used it to commute. He also used it in battle. Rattrap was so versatile with it.
He was Dinobot's taxi.
Well, but like even in combat, like he would transform, turn into a roadster, drive around, trip people, whatever, and then transform back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, straighten that tail rigid to where you could trip people with it.
Very, very versatile, I think. So yeah, I would say
All right, season 2, Silverbolt.
This one's tough for me because of the Transmutate episode was a very strong episode, and I'm going to have the same struggle.
Well, even his introduction.
Well, no, his introduction was super cringy. I'm just going to say that right now, super cringy. But I mean, Quick Strike's in that same boat. But that Transmutate episode, I mean, I'm not even looking at the Black Arachnia story arc with him. The Transmutate episode was so well done, and it was something I hadn't seen on TV when I was a kid. Like I'd never seen something like that, where there was so much compassion that he would defy. Like Silverbolt is the straight edge as straight edge comes. You know what I mean? He's a loyal Maximal, a complete do-gooder, and he defies his own do-gooder boss to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the amount of compassion in that character was just above and beyond for me. And like I think for me, he is an A class.
Yeah, that episode, it puts him in the same category as like Captain America, Superman, that Boy Scout.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what's right. I don't care who says not to. I'm going to do what's right.
About here, I would mid-A.
I would put him above Waspinator.
I would.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd put him right under Waspinator.
I don't know if he deserves that yet.
Okay.
By season 3, I would say yes.
Okay.
But not yet.
So mid-A tier then right now?
Yeah. I think he's better than Primal as far as season 2 is concerned. But I'm good either or.
Yeah,
He's in the A bracket.
Yeah,
so.
let's go and do that. Where'd you say? What was everyone saying for Cheetor? Is he fine where he's at, or a little bit higher?
Put him above Tarantulas in season 1. Tarantulas season 1 was kind of dull.
Yeah.
Oh man, I disagree.
Right.
I agree with the placement of it. I don't think he was dull whatsoever.
Not dull. It's just he didn't really. He was creepy, but he didn't come in like he was just creepy. He was like a Hannibal Lecter creepy. Now he's compared, and then he becomes more of a Joker level creepy, where he has this grand plan, and he's also like
true.
Crazy.
I like that. I was gonna wait for the season 2 and season 3 Tarantulas to get into that, but I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So something I think we skipped in the first season. Something I think we skipped in the first season was the Vok, because that's when they made their first presence.
Well,
with the probe.
It was kind of late for me to add stuff to it now.
No,
I mean, I've got him in here. I was going to add him more.
Just drop and drag.
Huh?
You just drop and drag.
Well, no, I mean how we saw them in season 1 with the Unicron head.
Well, with the probe and the Unicron head, they added so much depth to the story without actually doing anything really. Like, so the Vok are responsible for the floating island and the trigger.
So low A tier, or
I would say
I don't know.
Only because of what they like. Only because of how integral to the Beast Wars story they are, and that's overall.
All right, where'd you say it?
I'd say low B.
Low B.
Yeah, just because they add that external threat. They add that, well, okay, we're fighting each other, but there's also something bigger going on here. So.
Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, as far as so season 2 Megatron, I don't mean to keep going first. Someone else go first.
Anyone? No.
That's when he discovers the golden discs, right?
Who's that?
No, he discovered the golden discs in the first season.
Well, I mean, like that's when he discovers that hey, that season 2 is where he discovers that thanks to the golden discs that he's in the past, right?
The future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'd say still keep him in S tier because that's when the plans really start showing.
Yeah, S tier above the season 1 version of himself because he's even more playing into his own agenda. Like he's even when we think he's out for the count, he's got something going on, which we'll get into when we get to Ravage.
So, in my opinion, across all 3 seasons, Transmetal Megatron is the superior character of all of them, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the dude casually just busts out the roller skates and starts skating around his base.
I mean, that, and you could.
Speaking of stupid alt modes, the T-Rex with the roller skates is dumb, but him rolling around the base as he's monologuing to himself is just amazingly hilarious.
I would say, with how diabolical and how, like, I think he went from maniacal, how did you put it? Megalomaniac slapstick type villain. He turned himself into a Batman villain in the second season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like so serious, so calculated, so like I got chills watching some of his scenes because of how, and like that's largely in part to the voice acting, mind you, but the way that character was portrayed and written and delivered to us was like that is a standard throughout Transformers history. And that's why I don't think Dinobot is the be all end all of Beast Wars, because there was so much more depth to Megatron than was acknowledged. You know what I mean? I think Beast Wars Megatron in season 2 is the best Megatron of Transformers period.
Yeah.
So he's a top spot S rank for me.
Yeah, I would say season 2. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if season 3 can top him, but I don't know. See, season 2 Megatron kind of continues. Oh, you're on Tarantulas now.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Joe.
Season 2 Megatron, he kind of continues with his. I mean, because really he becomes the Transmetal 2 at the end of season 3.
Mm-hmm. We'll get
that I know, but what I'm gonna say is that's just kind of the cherry on top. I mean, it's the natural progression of the character. It's I don't know.
They could have easily copped out, and they could have easily copped out within a few episodes. I mean, like within 2 episodes of Optimus getting his new upgrade. Could have done the same thing to Megatron, but they didn't. They waited on that.
Yeah, and the character had to progress to get there, which I really like. They didn't rush into it. They took their time, and it was worth it. I don't know.
Brother Kyle says Beast Wars Megatron is the best Transformers antagonist, period. And I could not agree more.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
not him than Unicron. Just because Unicron is an existential threat.
But so Unicron is he's the big bad for the sake of being the big bad. Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron Season 2 transcended all of that plot armor bullshit and was just genuinely the greatest antagonist character across all Transformers. You know what I mean? Like, Unicron's purpose is to be the biggest threat. Megatron's purpose was to be a rogue Predacon, searching for whatever, but through his character depth and growth and how fleshed out his story is, he became the best Transformers antagonist of all time.
Because even in other media where, like, for example, if we want to pull a Prime, even though when Unicron's present, even though if Unicron is present, Megatron's not always loyal because he's starting to realize, hey, I might want to rule the world, but you're kind of pushing it you're still pushing it a little bit too far, so I'm going to ally with them to shut your butt up. Right?
Yeah.
Unicron was just a hungry ball. That's what Brother Kyle says. Yeah, he's a $600 hungry ball.
He's a $600 Pac-Man.
Or $1,300 now.
Yeah.
Because both TF Source and BBTS have jacked his price up.
Good for them.
Right. Season 2 Tarantulas.
That's a high A for me.
High A, right under. I would put him above Watchmen. Well,
I would put him low S.
Yeah, he is because this is one. No, yeah,
let's do high A for now.
Yeah, in season 2, I would say he's a high A. Where he goes to high or low S for me is in season 3, but we'll get there.
Yeah, just everything in season 2 with him still mind controlling Black Arachnia to.
That was the most interesting part of his
sadistic and everything.
Like that was one of the most interesting parts of season 2 for me, was like the dynamic between Black Arachnia and Tarantulas. Like Tarantulas, he wasn't dead, but he was like, it was almost like from beyond the grave. He still has control over Black Arachnia with the shell program and everything. And it was just so it was just so well executed for me.
He made Black Arachnia a fucking Horcrux. From Harry Potter.
Oh.
From Harry Potter.
Horcrux?
Yeah. I can never pronounce it right. Because, I mean, what did they do in Harry Potter? When the person dies, they activate to resurrect the person. And that's exactly what happened to Black Arachnia and Tarantulas.
I guess. But it was also more like what we'd see in Prime, the cortical psychic patch. That's what he did to her at the end of season 1.
I don't know, man. Those movies
came out when I was in high school,
when I was way too busy having sex. So
Those movies came out when you were in high school?
Yeah, I was in like grade 9 when the first or so. No, I was in. I think it was the third one. The third one I was in high school. I don't remember anything from them though.
The first one. No, yeah, me and you're pretty much about the same age because when the first one came out, I was a freshman in high school.
Mm.
I'm your stereotypical. I'm your stereotypical nerd. So it was all about the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter for me. So yeah.
And so,
Right,
just before you go on a quick strike, to touch on Tarantulas one last time, when he established his new lair and started really operating out of it with quick strike and the who can forget the my great Anarsi line, when he like pulled the arachnids together and wanted to start his own force, and I don't know, man. I just Transmetal Tarantulas was like a complete otherworld character to me, and I loved every minute of it.
I agree.
Megatron, but he's on the same level as Megatron, just a step down.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
All right, quick strike.
It's like you have Lex Luthor and you have the Joker kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Kyle's coolest looking Transmetal in my opinion. I agree with that too. Him and Rattrap have my favorite alt modes. Like that motorbike alt mode was so fucking cool, man. I'm trying not to swear. I know you're like a.
Hey, I don't care. I mean, we're way more than a minute in, so
true. I think they have Transmetal Tarantulas is one of my favorite Beast Wars figures back in the day as well. Him and Transmetal Cheetor were two of my favorites.
There's a reason why my Transmetal Tarantulas is one of the few figures that survived my childhood, and I still have that sucker right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I even have the Fox Kids version. That's still one of my favorite figures. Like, I love that deco in that figure.
It is a cool deco. I just wish it had some like actual story. But
well, I mean, it does, but you don't consider it canon.
Oh, I don't consider fan fiction canon.
Like had he lived after the Vok possessed him, and then that could be like
so cool.
The Vok possessing Tarantulas.
Yeah,
have him up here,
or he had the Vok powers and he harnessed it, or something maniacal like that.
You should have had
him just getting exploded.
Yeah. So quick strike.
Quick strike. I want to put him at maybe a mid B.
No, he's a D.
He's
D again.
I quote Megatron: "When expecting a booby trap, always send the boob in first," and he is a boob.
Right, but okay, so he's Diet Waspinator. Like his whole purpose is like comic relief. You can tell that in the way his character delivered. He's funny like that, right? I would put him just there at a low C. He's less than Tigertron. Tigertron was far more interesting, but he doesn't have
better than Scorponok.
Yeah, he doesn't have low value. And I mean, like, he served the boob tier well. Like, he was a boob, you know. But he also had his own ambitions as well. Like when he sided with Tarantulas and took over that fake Optimis body, and you know what I mean. Like he wasn't a complete idiot. Yeah.
But that was still season 3 though. So
that's true. I would still put him at a low C.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
All he wanted was just to kick some ass and chew bubblegum. And he's all out of bubblegum.
That's true.
Rampage. I'm going to put him as a high A. Under Waspinator. At least for season 2.
Because his introduction alone earns him an A rank.
I think he's a low S.
Well, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, he's a low S.
He
definitely
is. Yeah, So you made the Lex Luthor and the Joker comparison.
I think Bane mixed with Scarecrow.
Rampage is another beast entirely. He's he's like a combination of all of them, because
or even Doomsday if you think about it with the indestructible spark.
He's just another breed. Like, I love how sadistic he is, and you can tell in his little self monologues about like how he wants to hear the screams and he feasts on fear and stuff. Like, that's such a cool character concept, and they really brought it out in the animation with like his little mannerisms and like just how intimidating and
monstrous.
It's not really the word it's not really the word I'm looking for. Just like he's very is it insidious? I think it's insidious. I don't know. He's very
he's a force to be reckoned with.
He's the type that will string you up and give you the death by 1,000 cuts, but smile the entire time and take pleasure in everything. You know what I mean?
Very, very slow cuts.
Yeah, like I loved his character, and it brought a lot to the show, in my opinion. Like, he was that heavy hitter that nobody wanted to fuck with. You know what I mean? Like, everyone was terrified of Rampage because he's Protoform X.
He's definitely one of those characters where both the fans and the characters like that, when they heard that he was going to be entering the battle, everybody just went, "Fuck."
Yeah.
They focus all their fire on him and forget about everyone else.
Yep.
Delirium says just put them all in S tier. I say do your own tier list on your own channel.
If there was only one option, we would, and then would put Starscream in F. We just S and F. Well, so far we just get Starscream. There's a couple more that would put in F tier, but we'll get there. Speaking of low-ranking characters, I'm going to put each of the Tripredacus Council as a low D, just because we don't really get much with them, but they do definitely add a little bit to the story.
They're a plot device to move the story forward.
Yep.
Because you gotta remember too that in the context of the TV show alone, they pop up for one episode to go, oh shit, let's send this one dude out, and that was it.
Yeah.
I know they get a little bit more backstory later down the road, but in the context and just the TV show alone, no. They're there just to go, oh yeah, we forgot Megatron had someone to answer to, and that's who he was answering to. We got a face, we got a name, we got a face to go with the name, but that was it. They weren't really threatening, imposing, just oh shit. Megatron made an oopsie. Send him out.
Man, I missed this, brother. When we were talking about Quick Strike, brother Kyle says, "I just like how he calls Black Arachne a sugar bot." that's one of those little quirks that he has that like really brings a lot of charm to his character. Anyway,
that charisma. Yeah,
Tripredacus Council, I agree, low D. If not an F, because like they only their entire purpose was to move the plot forward in one single story arc.
Yeah.
Mind you, that story arc was very, very well done.
Well,
apart from that,
I know we skipped the character.
Tarantulas was working for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it was confirmed that he was a mole working for them the whole time.
Yeah. Well,
so, again, that's something
like it was their plan for Tarantulas to find the Nemesis and to destroy the Ark.
Well, that's season 3.
True. Okay.
I know.
All right. Yeah. Let's do last one. Ravage.
Well, we got 2 more. I skipped one, but we'll do her last, just of the season 2 stuff. Ravage. He definitely did a lot more than Starscream in the 2 episodes that he was in.
I would say,
yeah, he left a lot. He left for the small time that he was in the show, especially for season the few episodes he did leave a big impact.
I would say so, and this is where I think we need to make some adjustments. I would say he would be high B, probably just under Black Arachne. But in saying that, I also think the Vok need to be adjusted to just over Ravage. Because this season's where the Vok with where they was it no, maybe that was season it was season 2.
It was season 3.
No, where they killed they took
took Tigertron and Black
Tigertron and Airazor. With that giant mushroom ship thing and
beam me up Scotty thing.
Yeah, their influence just kept coming. And I think I don't know if it was season 2 or 3, but I think that's when Tarantulas took a further interest into them as well. Was
Megatron.
In the second season.
Should we move Rhinox up any, or is he still where he's at?
I think he's going to be a solid B throughout the entire thing. To be honest with you, because he was consistently good, but like once the bots got too big for like real scale, like when you had Optimus, Depth Charge, Rampage, Rhinox just kind of. You know what I mean? He just kind of put on the shelf. He stayed in the base. He cleaned up shop a little bit. You know what I mean? He didn't really do much. He wasn't there for any of the battles. He wasn't any good in any of the battles. You know what I mean? He was outshone time and time again. I mean, to be fair, second season with the, he brought Primal back. He didn't really do too much fighting in the second season. And the third season, he didn't do shit but mop the floor. So
his status as a stay-at-home dad was solidified.
Definitely.
Yeah. Black ranked me up for season 2.
I would move her. Yeah, I would put her up above Cheetor, the Transmetal Cheetor.
So just below season 1 Rattrap.
Yeah.
Okay, and then season 2.
Maybe I don't know, because I think she should be right under Silverbolt. Yeah.
And then Inferno high B.
I'd still say he'd be under. He's under the. No, I think he's good where he is. Like, because Rhinox is consistent. The Vok, the Vok are going to change, but like maybe put him above season 1 Cheetor. But Ravage was much more integral to the story than Inferno was for season 2.
All right.
And it's just one of those things that, like, runtime doesn't really mean, like, with Scorponok, runtime doesn't really mean much. But, like, you can do a whole lot more meaningful shit in a small amount of time that has more of an impact,
All right. Transmutate. I don't know where to put
her. C.
Yeah, C.
Yeah, I put it C.
Because
above Tigertron.
Below Tigertron, because we have to think about it like this. She only popped up for one episode, and was a glorified plot device for Silverbolt and Rampage to try to get along.
Yeah.
I think a C is maybe above Tigertron, because she was a plot device, but her episode had so much impact and was done so well that, like, Starscream was also a plot device, but he didn't move the story forward. He didn't create any sort of character growth.
He was just the villain of the week.
Yeah, whereas Transmutate was like, that was a whole different situation, and it was done really well. And it's sad that she died, and like the last words, like, friend hurt, like, it is what it is. But like, yeah, there's a reason that Transmutate is a represented character in physical form, be it by Transart, because that character stuck out. Not just because of the physical deformity or whatever, but like the character itself being so strong, but so
simple.
Yeah, like it's, I don't know. I'd never seen. There's a lot of episodes in this show that like I'd never seen TV quite like that, and there's a lot of I haven't seen much quite like it since either. And
Yeah.
maybe I put her above Pterosaur, but like maybe I put her above Pterosaur, move Pterosaur down to a high C, and let Transmutate take that spot.
There we go. All right, so that's the end of season 2. Let's go ahead and get on to season 3. Optimal Optimus. I want to put him.
He's a C.
It's hard. A C? Yeah, because he didn't really do a whole lot through the season.
Well, he did a lot. I just hate him.
I quote TG Omega, where he was so overpowered they had to find reasons why to write him out of the season. Which they did, because half the time he was in the season, he was always incapacitated for some fashion, knocked out, poisoned.
Yeah.
My little guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Loki,
And like his color deco is stupid. I'd argue that the whole gimmick behind him was stupid. I didn't like that one bit. Like he should have been. I didn't like the whole Optimal Optimus. He should have been just a Transmetal 2 Optimus. And he should have maintained his Season 1 deco, like we've seen with this Throne of the Primes deco. That would have been way better.
Yeah, if he went back to his Season 1 deco.
Yeah, but I didn't see much character growth in Season 3 from Primal. At all, personally.
Yeah, he was quite a bit more generic.
Yeah, I'm going to put him as a low B.
Yeah.
He's a step down from the original, just in my mind. So, like, each one of his forms is just a step down from the previous.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Depth. Let's go and do. Well, yeah, depth charge because he was introduced first. High A.
Yeah.
I would put him below Tarantulas.
Yeah.
That's only because of the smaller runtime. We weren't able to flesh him out entirely, but he definitely did leave an impact. But I mean, I would also vote to move Transmetal Tarantulas up to the S tier, the low end of the S tier from season 3. Because that's when you discover that he's like a, you know what I mean? He's a Unicron descendant. He's working for the Tripredacus Council. He's never been part of Megatron's unit, and
he's willing to wipe out all of time.
Yeah.
So he can reign above everything.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's the Lex Luthor to Megatron's Joker. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Do Cheetor. Transmetal 2.
D.
I'm going to put D.
I hated Transmetal 2 Cheetor. So.
I really like the design, to be honest.
Oh, it was
I love
hideous.
the design.
I didn't like it.
I love the design. I really love the Feral Scream episodes, but after that, like he lost all of his impact. Because it was cool when him and Transmetal 2 Dinobot were going at each other. I was like, this is a fight. You know what I mean? Because Transmetal 2 Dinobot was feral as well. It was kind of like a whole gimmick for the Transmetal 2s, right? And when Feral Scream came out and you hear the lion roar, or the mountain lion roar, or whatever it was, and he was so fast people couldn't track him, and I don't know. Those two episodes were awesome, and it was very cheesy how they handled it going forward. Also, how did he fly?
He didn't fly.
He did. With the Nemesis episode, he was flying.
No.
Yeah.
No, that was Tigerhawk.
Nope. It was Tigerhawk, Optimal Optimus, and it was when Rampage and Depth Charge were fighting.
Are you sure?
I thought it was just
100%
Primal. I thought it was just Primal and
Tigerhawk.
Primal, Tigerhawk, and Cheetor. I will try and find.
I'm going to have to go back and watch the episode because I'm pretty sure it was just those two.
I watched it today.
Well, there you go. Tyler.
I will. I'm not saying I know everything, so I got the thing up right now. I'm going to that episode. So.
Oh, I'm putting him at a low C.
I feel like he was on the arc with
was.
everyone else. So, yeah.
So how do you make everything your
stupid
best
ads.
agent, no matter where they work?
But that fine, low C?
I would say
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
would say above.
Yeah.
I would say above Pterosaur for sure.
Okay, so high C then.
Yeah.
All right. Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia. She didn't have much runtime, but the time
She
that
only
she
had,
did,
like,
she kind of kicked ass.
She was in there for like what, 2-3 episodes?
I think it was 3 episodes.
3 or 4.
But it's the fulfillment of the character. So you kind of have to take the progress the character made throughout all the other episodes, and that's where she's at.
If that was the case, though, I would move season 1, or I guess
1 and 2.
I would move her up. But that specific form of Black Arachnia, I'd just put her as a C.
So right there for season 1, season 2, right above.
I'd do that. Well, honestly, I'd probably leave her at the same bit, like right underneath, maybe just above, ahead of Silverbolt, and I would put Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia like just above Transmetal 2 Cheetor.
Okay, so low B.
Yeah, because when she turned, she didn't really do much. Yeah, she kicked ass, but like whatever, it didn't really do anything to move any plot.
Speaking of not doing much, Tigerhawk, high C again. Like he was powerful and shit, but he wasn't around to do much. Really,
this was this was an interesting case because he was like corporeal being. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he was maybe not. He was like. Go ahead.
He was a godlike being.
Oh, it's just Tigerhawk and Primal.
Oh man, there is a scene where Cheetor is flying. I'm gonna have to. I'll find it. I will find it. And
I think you're talking about when Megatron's tracking him and you see the thruster going.
Nope. No. I remember because he's flying over a body of water. It's got to be in that episode with the Nemesis. I'll find it. I'll figure it out.
What's it called? Mandela effect.
Maybe. That might be it.
Okay, just bad memory.
Getting old.
CRS, can't remember shit. But yes, high C for Tigerhawk. That fair?
I would put her above, or put him above Optimal Optimus.
Just below Transmutate.
Yeah.
All right. Transmetal 2 Megatron.
I would move season 1 Cheetor to the bottom end of B.
There we go.
Yeah.
Transmetal 2 / Dragon Megatron.
He's top S.
So I'd put him below season 2.
I would put him below season 2 as well.
I mean,
I don't know. This is the dude who's willing to take G1 Megatron's spark back to Cybertron and lay waste to everything in the Nemesis. I mean,
true,
he's willing to destroy the Ark with everything on it, knowing he will survive because he has G1 Megatron's spark inside him. I don't know.
I think
and his epic speeches, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's to me that's
him reading from the Covenant of Primus.
Yeah, or when he first shows up and yells, "Enter the dragon." It's just epic.
Megatron does
I
not
don't know.
yield.
I agree. I agree
Outburst.
with you, Joe, that it is epic. But I think that Transmetal 2 Megatron or Transmetal Megatron had far greater of an impact as a villain. Transmetal 2 was crazy, and he did do.
He had more impact because he was around longer. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, granted, yeah, you're right, Tyler. He's more crazy because he had G1 Megatron Spark with him. Like, some of that insanity leaked over.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I would.
G1
I would
Megatron
put him-
wasn't insane.
I mean, I would just put them on the
Yeah,
same
he
level.
was.
Like I would just say they're equally top S.
Yeah. Transmetal 2 Dinobot.
Meh.
Lower end of the A.
Yeah. 'cause-
Yeah, I agree.
I
He's
don't know.
badass. He looked, and even Scott McNeil said that he wanted to make him more tweaky, just add more vocal tics and shit to him, but he didn't know what he was going to look like.
Mhm.
So yeah, lower A. He could have been better for sure.
But in the time that he was around, like the episode where he's chasing Black Arachnia through the woods is a fantastic episode. The
For
episode,
that funny animation edit of Black Rhino just turning her whole upper torso around too.
yeah, when he recalls, I never understood why Dinobot remembered the old Dinobot after Rampage died.
Because there was a
There was
canceled episode
there was a canceled
called Dark
episode.
Glass. It was explaining how Rattrap like incapacitated him or something and downloaded his downloaded the data tracks into Dinobot because you see it in season 2. Dinobot backs up his his mind into one of the computers in the Axelon.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it never explained it. So, and once Rampage was killed, that those memories could take over, and he'll finally have his personality back.
All right.
All right, last ones. Chak and Una, F above Starscream. They don't do anything for me. They're humans. They're proto-humans. Get them humans out of my Transformers.
Yep.
You got to move Waspinator up to S though.
Yeah, I think Waspinator is a low tier S as well.
Low S.
Yeah, I think. So I think Tarantulas would probably be above Rampage.
Oh yeah, definitely in this season.
In my opinion, yeah. And I think that's the perfect tier list, in our opinions.
Yep, this is totally subjective, and we're not stating objective fact.
I mean,
Yep.
Nope, this is fact. If you disagree, you're wrong.
This is 1,000%.
Well, I'm the host, so what I say goes.
Not anymore.
Power tripping.
Hey, if one person can do it, I can do it.
Ooh, shots fired. I don't know to who, but
Oh, there's quite a few.
Yeah, Dalton has a lot of people he doesn't like, and he's bitter with.
Are you saying that because you're one of them?
Probably. But at least I acknowledge the fact that I deserve it.
oh jeez.
But yeah, this is the tier list. I mean, if I had it 100% my way, it'd be a little bit different. But I think we came to a good enough consensus between the four of us that this is it.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, they'd all be S's. I agree with Dylan.
Except for Chak and Una and Starscream, right?
I was honestly kind of worried about that going into this. That like, well, everyone's an S. That's an S. That's an S. That's maybe not the Vok. Maybe not Starscream, Chak and Una, but that's an S. I was kind of worried, but this was.
I knew they weren't all going to end in S tier. Like I had planned that there was going to be some in the lower end, but just not the way I'd expected. But hey, worked out in the end.
I think the part that I love the most is that the very top 3 are all Megatron.
Yeah.
Which really speaks to what we were saying before about like he is the best Transformers antagonist of all time.
I have a friend who's not really into Transformers, but you better believe when they announced that they were re-releasing not only when they were re-releasing the OG Transformers Megatron, the Beast Wars Megatron, but the Generations one as well, he was all over that.
I definitely think there's others that are very close. Like animated Megatron was up there for me. Prime Megatron was up there, but G1 Megatron, forget about it. Like, dude yelled retreat every chance he could.
Well, I mean, he just wasn't a good character. And that's
G1 didn't have many of that.
Yeah, that's subjective as they come, but like it's fact. Like it's just vanilla.
It's my opinion, but it's also fact.
Yeah,
I mean it's G1, it's not G1's fault. It's just the result of the way things were at the time.
I was just about to say
the fact that in the 90s we focused more on character development instead of just selling toys.
Mm-hmm.
So, you didn't have 50 billion characters in one show. We've got 14 main characters here. About a third of them die off in the second season, only to be replaced, and pretty much stays that way with a few odds and ends here and there.
I mean, everyone dies at the end. The Maximals stay alive, except for Dinobot and Depth Charge. Rampage dies. Waspinator survives. Rampage dies. Tigerhawk dies. Inferno dies. Scorponok and dead. Quick Strike dies. You know what I mean? Like it was a gruesome.
I'm just talking like throughout each season.
Oh yeah, Tarantulas dies.
Oh yeah, very gruesome. Well, not really gruesome. I mean, I guess it could be, but if they didn't add that stupid squashing watermelon sound effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was good, man. This was fun.
Yep.
Yeah. I like how basically I'd have to do the math, but I think Rhinox or Ravage end up right in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because Rhinox started off good. He started off really strong, but then it just became stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can't steer the guy wrong. When they raided the base, he defended it.
The Bach end up right in the middle.
Oh, wow.
We don't think really strongly of them, nor do we think really bad of them. They are literally definition of.
If I had it my way, I would move Ravage above the Bach. I like his design a lot more. I dig the Russian accent, and what's interesting, the fact of them using the Cheetor character model while using Tigertron's beast mode head is definitely interesting.
I still remember when that episode premiered, and he screamed out Decepticons forever and transformed into a tape. It really was like that next day at school was just like everybody was like, "Are you serious? He's a descendant? What? Who? What?" It was taking everybody back. Like they couldn't believe it.
Well, and then Tyler, you'd probably remember too. The guy who voiced him was Makuta in the Bionicle movie.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And of course, Scott McNeil was like a third of that cast too.
Oh, Scott McNeil. I think
Scott McNeil's everybody. Even while crime fighting Glob of Wasabi.
What was it? Oh God, what was it? There's a YouTube video out there of someone calling. At one point, Scott McNeil's voice box, his outgoing voice box, if you called it, it was Waspinator, Rattrap, and Dinobot fighting amongst each other.
Or who's answering the phone?
That's funny.
Not just who's answering the phone, but like, what should we do? I don't know. Should we tell them to leave a message? I think so, but do you think we're actually going to read it? Oh, hell no, we're not going to read it.
That's funny. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that very lengthy tier list, about 2 hours long. Definitely not what I intended it to be. But hey, we had some good, thoughtful discussion, and maybe I'll do something like this again in the future. Let's see how everything does. It looks like we had some good viewership, but I want to give it a couple weeks, see how it does as far as views and comments go. And like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. There's plenty of links down in the description. Make sure every Wednesday to go check out Stasis Lock. Next couple weeks, our good friend here, Joe, is going to be hosting it. Mike is taking a little hiatus, not very long, hopefully. So, that being said, why don't you guys go ahead and do your outros? We'll end it there.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Beast Wars.
Okay, again, not what I expected. Obviously, you can find me here on my channel, Daltonian95.
Beast Wars.
And everywhere as Daltonians TS.
Beast Wars.
There, right there. Smart Bill says 720-ish into Nemesis Part 1. Tiger Hop flying and Cheetor and Black Arachnia in his Echo. Thank you.
Where is it? What?
7 minutes and 20 seconds-ish into Nemesis Part 1.
Okay, let me look.
Well, hold that dial. We're going to solve this right here, right now.
Before we go off air, let's solve this shit. Just so
he does have
the last word.
He does have a big-ass thruster on his back.
I wouldn't have believed it unless I just saw it myself. You're damn right.
Well, at first you were like, yes, it's a thing. But then you started questioning yourself like, no, it's not a thing.
Well, because you guys were so sure against it. I was like, well, maybe it is a Mandela thing, but no, I remember.
No, I never even noticed that. Hang on, I'm watching it. I'm watching it happen again.
I don't remember him flying, but at the exact same time, it's a case of, well, I don't want to.
Yeah, he's flying and Black Arachnia is on his back. There you go.
Maybe he's just got his rocket going fast enough that. Hey, he's got Black Arachnia with him. Of course, his rocket's going to be going fast enough.
Yeah.
So let's end it there.